Hello guys, today I'm going to show you how to install sump pump, not actually the sump pump but a battery backup sump pump. So battery backup sump pump is used in case if there is a failure in the electricity and your primary sump pump goes bad, then automatically the battery backup sump pump will come into the action and it will discharge the water from the sump pit to outside. The sump pump which I am going to use as a battery backup sump pump is Vane 12 volt, and this sump pump is pretty good. Amazon reviews are good. It comes with 2 years warranty, and this sump pump can discharge 3300 gallons of water per hour. In addition to this, this is a professional grade backup system, and whenever this sump pumps get activated, it will sounds the buzzer to let homeowner knows that backup system is active and something is wrong with the primary sump pump, so that they can check in the basement or wherever it is installed to see that what is wrong with the primary backup system. Now let me show you how my setup looks, current setup looks of the primary sump pump. So our primary sump pump is installed inside this small closet. So there is a power cord which gives the power or supplies the power to the primary sump pump. This primary sump pump is installed is the only sump pump which is inside the pit and taking out the water from the sump pit. Currently there is no water in the sump pit, so this is the right time to install this sump pump because there is not much mess is going to happen. So my plan is to remove this existing sump pump, and adjacent to this sump pump I will be installing the battery backup sump pump, and this is the desired setup which has been recommended by Ven also. Let me show you. If you look at their if you look on their box, on the back side of the back side of the box, you will see there is a setup which they shows, and as per this setup, the left side one is the battery backup sump pump and the right side one is the primary sump pump, and two discharge pipes are going out to the going out to discharge the water from the sump pit. This is one option, and then there is another option is there that you connect the two discharge pipes and have a one outlet pipe, but in my case I am going to use two different outlet pipes to discharge the to discharge the water from the primary pump or the battery backup sump pump. I'll show you the how the setup looks from outside. Current setup looks from outside. There is only one discharge pipe, and I'm going to add another discharge pipe for the battery backup sump pump. Whenever you start with this activity, first and most important thing is remove the power cord or power supply which is giving the power to the primary sump pump. So I'll remove the power supply, and then remove this pipe, outlet pipe, remove this entire sump pump from the sump pit, and then I'll show you how exactly the two sump pump will fit adjacent to each other. I'll go over the details of the battery backup sump pump in a while, once I open the box. Another good thing is that since you are installing these sump pumps, it is a good time to clean up the pit and see that if anything gravels or any dust, dirt is there in the pit, and clean up the pit and then start installing the sump pump. So let me open the box, sump pump box, and show you that what is inside the box. But before that I will show you from outside how the setup looks, and this is how it looks from outside. One outlet pipe coming out from this wall. This is the outlet pipe for the sump pump which is currently installed in the basement. My plan is to remove this pipe, make a hole adjacent to this hole, and take out two pipes, two outlet pipes from this hole. One outlet pipe for the regular sump pump and the second outlet pipe for the battery backup sump pump. And this is the method which is the first method which um, they suggested in the suggested for the battery backup sump pump. There is another option is there, that you connect the outlet of the regular pump as well as the battery backup sump pump and just have one outlet pipe. It just depends on how your setup is. In my case, I am planning to have two outlet pipes, one for the battery backup and one for the conventional sump pump. So to remove the to remove the primary sump pump, I am cutting this outlet pipe, and then just I have to lift the entire sump pump from the sump pit. So here you go. So, and let me remove this entire unit from the sump pit, and this is how our primary sump pump is. So I'll be installing this entire I'll be cleaning this entire unit, and after that I'll be installing the sump pump in this sump pit. Sorry, there is no light as such, but let me show you how exactly it looks inside this one. So if you see, there is a lot of there are a lot of gravels and dust and everything is there. So I'll clean this. I'll take this opportunity to clean this entire sump pit, just to make sure that before installation, wherever we are installing this sump pit is clean. And after that, I'll remove this outlet pipe and make another adjacent hole for the outlet for the battery backup sump pump. I'm done with cleaning the sump pit, and as you see that it is now looks very neat and tidy. In addition to this, what I've done is that I have this Rust-Oleum American Choice Ultra Cover Coat, which you can use on metal, plastic, or anything. So I've just added one coat from the inside, so it looks nice. And in addition to that, I'm going to do the same thing on the top also, like here. And I'm pretty much sure that once I remove this masking tape which I've added all over the sump pit, this will look very nice. I'll show you that in a bit. So now the main important part is making the hole to have two pipes pass through this one for primary sump pump. Now let's open this box and see that what is inside this box. And I am planning to simulate the entire setup outside the sump pit to show that how exactly it will go inside the sump pit. So in this box, let's see. I know that pretty much sure that there is no battery included with this sump pump, which we have to buy externally. And I guess this one is the sump pump battery holder or tray, you can call it. And this is the connector looks like. Then what else we have? We have manual, and okay, this is the battery box, and I think inside this one there is a sump pump. Okay, so the battery will go inside this, and this is the lid on the battery box, like this. And this is the actual sump pump. These are some of the attachments to hold the sump pump and the pipe, like this, the way it is shown over here in the existing sump pump. This is the relay which will go on the pipe. So as soon as this float goes up, the sump pump will get triggered. The water level reaches this point, this goes up, and then the relay will trigger the battery backup sump pump. And this is how the sump pump is. It is pretty tight, and this is kind of a hanger or holder to hold the sump pump. So once it goes inside the pit, and if we have to remove it, the correct way of removing the sump pump is not by holding this wire, or not holding like this, or not holding the pipe which is we are going to install over here, but using this one. So this is how it is. Not much is inside this box. Let me see, one more box is there. Okay, and here it is, the power adapter, which will connect to which we have to connect to the battery to charge the battery all the time. And I think this is the relay switch hanger. I'll go over all these steps one at a time. And as per our simulation, the sump pump, battery backup sump pump, will be installed something like this. So both the sump pumps will be installed this way, and similar to this pipe, another pipe will go, outlet pipe from the battery backup sump pump will go outside, from here and outside. So let me complete the setup, and then probably after that I can show you the complete setup to simulate the entire sump pump unit installation. And this is how the final setup is going to look like. This is my dummy setup outside the sump pump pit. I'll show you in details how exactly it looks like. So on the left side is the primary sump pump, which will remain as it is. If you remember, we have cut the entire sump pump unit at this point, so I'm going to connect that as it is. Then second part is this one. So now this circle represents the sump pit diameter. So adjacent to the primary sump pump, my other sump pump, that is the battery backup sump pump, will be placed. What I need is basically the male adapter from here to connect this entire pipe. And so what I bought is basically this male adapter, then one pipe which connects to the check valve. Check valve will allow the flow of water from the sump pit to the outlet, and not from the outlet to the sump pump. So this way it will prevent the sump pump in case if there is a backflow water coming towards the sump pit. And this is the another discharge pipe or outlet pipe which will go outside of the wall from the battery backup sump pump. So as I discussed earlier, two outlets, one from the primary sump pump and another from the battery backup sump pump. Now the connections from the battery backup sump pumps are pretty much straightforward. This connection will go to the electric outlet, and then there are some other connections which are straightforward. This one is from the sump pump to the battery, and then another one is this one, this connection. This will go here, it is this part, and this is nothing but the float switch which I have not yet installed here. I'll show you in a bit that how exactly we are going to install that float switch. And this red and black one, they will we have to connect them to the battery. So pretty straightforward, and battery will be inside this box. So I'm going to install some shelf for resting this battery box. Now coming back to this float switch, where to install this float switch. So if you see the existing sump pump, that is the primary sump pump, gets activated when this ball floats from here and it reaches a certain point and it clicks the and activates the primary sump pump. So what we have to do is, this is the point where it is going to get activated. The primary sump pump is going to activate it. In case of the failure of the primary sump pump, we have to make sure that the battery backup sump pump should get activated. So what I've done is that from this point little bit higher, I've marked marked one point. So this particular float we have to install like this, right? And by installing this float like this, what is going to happen is that in case if there is a failure on the primary sump pump, this float will get activated, the water will reach to this point, and once that water reaches this point, the secondary sump pump will come into picture. So always remember that the secondary pump float switch should be little bit on the higher side compared to the primary sump pump. So this is the entire setup. Now what we have to do is basically install this, put this entire setup inside the sump pit. I'll show you the final setup once it is done so that you'll get an idea. So the setup which we are going to use is this one, which is listed on the manual, that is the method 1, which has two outlet pipes going, two outlet independent pipes, one for the primary sump pump and second one for the battery backup sump pump. There is another option is this one, that is method 2, by combining the two outlets to one outlet, but I'm not going with this one. It is it's personal choice and depends on the setup what you have currently. So let me finish the entire setup and show you the final setup, that how it looks. Pipes in the new for the new sump pump, I'll be using this PVC cement and the purple primer at this place and at this place. Particularly this one is basically the for the check valve. There is no need of using the PVC cement. It is just tightening these screws. And here is the final setup. Both the sump pumps are installed now inside the pit. Primary on the right side and secondary on the secondary, that is battery backup sump pump, on the left side. And as you see that originally it was only one outlet, but now it is now there are two outlets, one for the primary and one for the battery backup. In addition to that, I've installed here the box where I'm going to install the battery. It is on one of the stand like this, so it is resting like on this one. I've not yet connected this entire sump pump to the battery, but it's pretty much straightforward. These two wires, black and red, will go to the battery, and this will go to the power outlet over here. And this is how the final sump pump setup looks. Thanks for watching. Thank you very much. Bye.